Just got the clap.
Perfect. So, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of West Coast Sloppers is what we're going to call this. Last time we didn't have a name. Now we got one. And it's semi-approved from the big guy. Anyway, because he thought this podcast was kind of cool, which is what we're kind of trying to do. So my name is Dane Thompson, and I'm here with...
Reed Davis.
Jeff Woods.
And we're the three amigo idiots that like to drive junk cars.
Stooges. We're the three stooges of horsepower.
There's a couple things today that I specifically kind of wrote down. But other than that, we're just going to wing it and talk cars and talk shop and everything kind of sloppy and drag racing, junk parts in general, blown up motors, rebuilds, things like that. So, first and foremost, to start it off, you guys know that I toasted my car.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it ended up being a lifter tray, which I have it behind me, but don't touch it, it's all greasy. So yeah, the lifter,
I saw it.
apparently if it wiggles.
Yeah, I still didn't believe it until I saw you. You're just like, look, this is what's happening. Like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because I didn't believe it at first.
Yeah, so the problem with the lifter tray deal is I've had two motors, because everybody thinks I went through like 1,000 motors. I've had two. I had a 4.8, and I toasted that because the rev limiter was set at 8K because it was 4.8, and Kike, which is my tuner, figured I would probably shift it before that. I didn't have a shift light, so we were just letting it haul the mail.
So the valves float.
Yeah, and then the event got rained out, and I was bummed, so I wanted to do donuts, and then you can't just do them half-assed.
No,
you gotta let it,
wood foot,
you wood it. So literally in the video, I have it. I did have a shift light, I'm sorry. So the shift light was on
so you had no
the
excuse.
entire time. Yeah, so actually I don't have an excuse. But
Well,
I did some pretty cool donuts. I got all the drunk guys riled up. They're like, do it again. So I was trying to start it and it kept dying because I didn't have a fuel baffle. So it started for fuel, then I fired up and tried again. So after like 2.5 rounds of that, it made it on the trailer, but it didn't run very well. And then literally I took everything out of that engine, including the lifter trays, put it all in this one, and it's been fine ever since. And they were brown, and they were used before I even used them the first time.
no kidding.
And I heard people say it, and it's like, because you figure it's in the lifter bore.
How can
All that thing's doing is holding it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it might wiggle a little bit, but I'm like, it's pressurized on that. The cam is pushed against, the lifter, and there's flat
Yeah, the
rollers.
wheel on that should keep it square, right?
But if it can get out of the track, then it needs to roll over, and then it can start wearing the wrong way.
But what I think it amounts to, because I think
Possibly.
Holdner was, but it wiggles. And then you figure the valve train events, and especially when you start spinning these,
really
it's
high
going,
up.
and then all it's doing is it's doing a little fishtail, and then all of a sudden
That's all it takes at that RPM.
Yeah.
Well, you know how like a regular cam works. The lifter actually rotates its way
Yeah,
up the
unless
load.
it's the roller, and the rollers have those,
Yeah,
the
they have-
little the link between the two. And I was thinking about that. Like, I never paid any attention putting it in. Like, how don't these things turn? And I never thought of it. And it's like those lifter trays. And the whole time I was like, oh, those just keep the lifters up when you're swapping cams out.
Yeah.
No, they do more than that.
They're pretty
And
important.
then the other thing
Yeah.
too, I guess you can grab. I do have a lifter over there. I thought I had a lifter. Hey, let me grab a lifter real quick.
Yeah, you want to float around here somewhere?
I have one in the bag over here.
Should have one in the pocket.
Because this is something that I don't actually know. So it'll be hard to see. So it'll be hard to see on camera. Well, I can show you guys the loose lifter. I know I've beat this dead horse, but you can even see it's wore out in here. But when you put it in here,
Yeah, it's loose.
Yeah, it wants to turn just a little bit.
But if you
one
put
way
it
or the
in
other.
another one-
no turn at all. No play
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And I've got obviously 4 trays, and this was the only one. And when I
It's the
changed
same
it, when I
spot,
changed
right?
the cam and lifters out, I put this right back in place, so it was the
Of
same
course, yeah.
soldier. If I would have mixed and matched them, then I would have really been scratching
Oh
my
man,
head.
that would have been terrible.
So yeah,
He's got a lot.
Yeah, that's
That's probably got 30 thou or more
it does now.
of play in there.
yeah.
Well,
But I think it got worse because the first time, I don't remember, like if it was that bad,
You
I
probably
feel like I would have been like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
would have fallen out, and I
it
would
would
have.
have made sense to.
But
not
so I think
use
it was loose, but I don't think it was that loose. I think this is from round 2. It just
Well,
opened
when
it
you
up.
loaded
Yeah,
it, you put them in there like that. So
Yeah. So
if
it
you-
kind of held it last
it
time.
wouldn't hold it anymore.
Yeah.
So you would have known.
I don't know if I had it on video. I'm gonna have to go back to the video because I might have had it. Maybe it was
Order
like
of
falling out
operations.
and I was trying to hold it in and put it in.
Use
I
a
don't know.
Yeah.
magnet from the top to hold that one.
I think I just put the
you
I
stuck
put the lifters in
here
first.
and then-
No,
yeah.
I think I put my lifters in first because Cam was already in there.
Mine, you always load them in there and stuff.
That'd be a pain in the ass because you got to get that
Camera. It's
the
been so long
flash
since
to
I've had to build an engine.
Oh.
There we go.
There it is. All right, it's on camera. That's my curse. I'm gonna wear that.
Well, that's.
Hold my beer.
Hold my bird.
And then the other thing I wanted to point out too, because I don't know, on the lifter, is because everybody talks about LS7 lifters.
Yeah.
This is a replacement, but if you look at the wheel on that side, it looks solid. But if you flip it around, it's not.
It's just pressed onto that bearing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that. So I don't know if that's a good one or a bad one, or if they come like that. Because I never really paid attention because I just reuse stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a performance guy. And then you hear all the LS stuff. And speaking of which, I feel like a jerk because I don't even know the guy's name offhand. A guy bought me a brand new set and shipped it.
Oh, nice.
Of LS7 lifters.
What a nice guy.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Well, I had friends like that.
Yeah, right? Hey, I'm giving you some stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I told everybody that I was going to play lifter roulette. So because I'm missing one.
Yeah.
And I have the ones I took out of the motor.
So
I was going to put them in there and kind of mix them around. And then I was going to put that with the good ones. And then kind of mix them around so we didn't know which hole it landed in. And then just kind of go, hey, we're good.
And then you don't knowingly go, that's the bad one. That's the one you're always going to look at and always worry about.
Yeah.
So I was going to do that for fun. And then he was like, dude, they're on their way.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I was like, well, if you got a set, I'll just buy them. And he's like, no, I just ordered them and shipped them to your house. I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do about that. I
Can't say no.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm going to hopefully not toast my new cam. And we'll spin it and I'll make some power just for you, dude. And then I'll put your name, I'll put your handle on here because I'm terrible. I don't remember all that stuff, though. There's a lot of people that remember. And it's going to get to a point that I don't know who anybody is.
Even us.
Even you guys. So other than that, we got all the rebuild parts coming. How is your car coming along?
I just got my car driving again.
You almost drove it today, didn't you?
I did. I just can't get the headlights figured out. Otherwise, I would have tried to drive it here.
Just flashlight, dude. Duct tape a flashlight in there.
I'm almost to that point at this.
Turbo swapped the Camaro and can't figure out a headlight.
I'm not.
How does that work? It's
So-
DC, man.
so
One's ground and one's hot.
TIG welded aluminum exhaust pipe, and he's like,
yeah, exactly.
Headlights.
It's like, this is where I sell the
If
product.
that doesn't prove that anybody can wire a Holley Terminator and make it work.
Very good point.
You should be a salesman. We're gonna get you a Holly shirt. I'm gonna go get one of my Holly shirts and put it on.
Can't
right
do
now.
a headlight, can wire up a car.
I can make a Holley Terminator run and drive, but I cannot figure out how to wire headlights. And I spent like 5 minutes on it. Didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
You could have called me out of it.
You know that
You're
means,
an idiot.
It means he walked outside and looked at it and was like,
Nah.
And then he grabbed his truck keys.
I actually probed the freaking thing on because I don't have that plug anymore. So I probed to figure out which one that one is. And
did you check the switch on the floor?
no, it's all working.
Okay.
So it's sending power.
Yeah.
You just need to wire it.
Yeah. That's all. I just gotta wire it. So
Is the headlight burned out, maybe?
I took one wire and I was like, oh, it doesn't turn on. That's as far as I got.
How many Jeffs does it take to fix a light bulb?
A lot.
Anyway.
But yeah, so other than that, I mean,
you got the 85 system in it now?
yeah, and I put the switch in to make my two fuel systems work, and it all works now. Yeah, I'm ready. I just gotta go get some regular gas, and that way I can cruise it without the tiny tank.
The baby tank.
Yeah.
You're gonna get to the block.
Yeah, exactly.
The end of the block if you're pushing.
He's going to be lucky to get to the end of the strip with that.
Me and Olivia went around the block, and we dropped maybe half an inch or so, fueling the whole system up and everything again because I drained it all a couple times.
So that's rails and lines and everything.
Yeah. So I mean,
That's
half
not
inch
too
fuel lines there and back. That's quite a bit of fuel. So
yeah, absolutely.
And then I did your trick for the cooling system, so hopefully that helps my cooling.
Yeah, let me know how that works.
We'll have to see do you know what your thermostat is set at?
It was whatever the stock one is. I believe it was
195.
Yeah, 195.
Because I ran that for a long time, and technically you're leaving power on the table.
whatever.
But again, LS likes to run warm.
They run warm.
I put a 180 in there, I think, or 170, whatever it is, and then I just turn mine on at like 180.
Yeah, I think Rita cruises at like 210 on the freeway.
That's what they're made to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for small block Chevy thinking, but
I know. Yeah, that was really weird to see that the first time around. Like, I know.
you're like,
Something's wrong.
Yeah, when we cruised
Like,
my
I did
car
everything right.
to zip tie the first time, I'm like, dude, it's 210. And Chad's like, that's fine. They're made to do that. I'm like, dude, it's 210. He's like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
I see any steam?
Yeah. Well,
Keep
then
going.
we got to Scirocco Summit, and that's when it started.
Oh yeah.
I still freak out at mine if it's like 200. I'm like, let's get more, because my car doesn't. It runs good.
Yeah.
It's that swap meet radiator, baby.
That's right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then Rita, how's Rita?
Rita's doing good. Let's see. We found out last time. Actually, here's the story. So we went to the track. This is when poor Malibu took a shit.
For the second time.
Yeah, for the second time. and it really hurts me to watch that. I'm like, oh no, not again. But so yeah, we got back to business with Rita, and Jeff was you were pit crew for me.
Yep.
And you were tire guy, and so we were making some hits.
Sneaky tire guy.
Jeff was all over the tire pressure, and so like I was getting ready in the lanes and so like she kept pulling right, and I was trying to figure out, okay, like maybe anti-roll bar, so I took all the preload out of the anti-roll bar and like kind of neutralized everything. Still pulled right, turned the thing down a little bit and made a laser straight pass. I'm like, okay, but that pass, I remember I was like, hey Jeff, I actually looked at the road this time. He's like, what? You haven't been looking at the track? I was like, no, normally the thing's just bullet straight and I can just like check temps and Instagram and just do whatever I want. But but like finally I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look straight. Like I just shifted it by ear. Like I didn't even look at the tree, and it was like laser straight, but we had turned it down.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I was like, turn it back up. Like that's my problem. I don't know how to drive the thing, and I was like blaming myself the whole night. So turn the thing up, and like I'm getting ready in the lanes, and it's a process now because you got the helmet and the net and the gloves and everything, and I'm like waving to Jeff, and he comes over. I'm like, dude, check tire pressure. So like while I'm putting all this stuff on, he's back there, and he comes in and throws the gauge in the glove box. He's like, oh, you're good, dude. I'm like, okay, cool. So like I get up to the line, and I think I turned the two-step up a little bit or something. Like for some reason I was like, I'm gonna hit this thing hard, like because I want it. And so like the thing cuts the best 60 foot it ever has, and I think probably at about 55 feet it started hooking for the wall.
Yeah.
And so like I managed to square it up and get it down the run, but it's like, okay, I got my good 60 foot. But like I pulled back in, and I see Jeff with that smile on his face. He's like, how'd that feel? And I was like, oh, it's pretty good. He's like, yeah, I took 2 PSI out of the tires. You son of a... He's like, I didn't want to get in your head. I was like, that's exactly what I needed. Thanks, Jeff. But it ended up being the limited slip. Car can't run limited slip anymore. I think it's just making too much juice. It's too heavy. Yeah. I didn't really realize it until I was watching. We strapped a GoPro under the car just to watch what the rear end's doing, and it's been super helpful. That's a huge tip. Like if anyone is like trying to figure out rear end, just put a GoPro back there and just watch the thing.
If you don't have friends, cameras and
well, it's like you got to have you on one side, you on the other, and you got to like watch both screens.
The other problem with the camera too is that you film it and then the car's gone and it's out of footage range, so you're only getting you're not getting 60 feet, you're getting like
and this one, so like you can see the whole thing as it's going down the track, and it's like it was at nighttime, and you were telling me you're not going to see anything, and it's like you're right. Like you could see a little bit when you pass the lights.
That's the only problem with the GoPros. The night footage or whatever is terrible.
So I mean, I was going through this and like really pouring over the data on like, okay, what went wrong? Like, why does this thing keep swinging right? Because I took all the preload out. Finally, I put headphones on and listened to the audio, and the right tire is just boiling the entire way down the track. I'm like, okay, that's it. I mean, the limited slip's done. Like,
I'd like to see a video. He has just GoPro audio.
Yeah, just like throw my So, and I mean, looking at the tires too, the right tire is just like it's smooth, whereas the other tire's got that nice kind of texturing to it.
Picture.
Yeah, that was. And I remember I measured rollout and everything. Like I don't know what
they're very close, which is very.
They were a quarter of an inch off, maybe.
That's amazing.
And that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. When your car won't go straight, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So spool's coming. I got to figure that out. I might leave that for the banning. I might leave the limited slip in just because I'm not gonna be able to blast the thing there. It's going to be on the radio.
It's going to be Irwindale on a really bad night, which is
so we could talk about that's so banning is an airport style flashlight.
Yeah.
Basically like no prep drag race deal.
Yep.
At an airport. That's coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's October 17th and 18th, I think.
Yeah, so we signed up for it like a month ago.
Yeah.
And then there's fires out here in California, so they canceled it. And then I wrecked my car twice, or I wrecked the motor twice in the car. And then now they reschedule it for 4 weeks.
You were trying to get it back together to make it to that.
And then, so we're in the same boat.
So it's all good.
You're chasing the dragon right now, man. They're going to keep dangling that carrot.
So we're all three going to show up to that, and it'll be...
it should be fun.
It'll be fun because it's like a flashlight style drag race. There's no time slips, no 60 foots, nothing like that.
Yeah, 10 second cars.
I don't even know whoever wins, or is it just eyeball it?
Yeah, it's eyeball.
Yeah.
It's going to be run for fun thing. It's not serious in any way.
Just a trial to see if it's going to work out, right?
According to the guy that's putting it on, there will be some pretty quick cars there, though.
Yeah, I'm showing up.
Well,
I'm just...
Digging a hole.
Don't make yourself look like a chump.
I know, I'm gonna, don't worry.
As he fishtails, drags it all the way down the thing. The one-legger, because it actually lets go, so he just back to old school.
I'll keep my foot in it.
Just
you would.
It'd go straight.
Yeah, it's on or off, dude.
Dude.
Stomping out that trash fire.
Yeah, that's how you drive.
That's poor racing, I know. I never had a car with that much power, man. I don't know what to do.
Well, me either. I'm working on it.
You drove an altered.
I drove an altered, I drove a dragster. Yeah, but...
So before the next...
Those go straight.
After you can get it to drive around, are we just going straight to banning? You want to try to hit the dyno with it?
I want to try to hit the dyno. KP's got any time? Just so that we can get kind of... Because it's pretty bubbly. It's got too much fuel. So... And it's slower than shit because we got no timing in it or anything else right now. Which, I mean, we could do some street tuning and...
Yeah, we can clean all that stuff up. I just wanted... We didn't put anything in it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what the thing's going to do.
Yeah, of course.
You could drive around with your foot to the floor all day and, like, you're good. Unless your lifter tray's not.
Right, yeah. Or your rev motor doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, I mean... It just... I need to drive it more, right? So, I need to get it out and get it... Just,
all right, we'll do all that, and then we'll try to... I think we could do a dyno. Because
hopefully you get your motor back together and get...
What I'll do is we'll just do a double. When I put mine back together, we'll just take both cars over there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, I'm not in a rush, but also... I feel like the more I drive it, the more little things are going to come out, so...
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
like, I got to make sure... I didn't seem like my boost controller was doing anything last time, which we didn't need it to, really, but, you know, that'd be nice to figure that out. And,
yeah, especially not on the street.
Yeah.
But
I'm debating going to CO2.
Already, you haven't even made boost yet.
Yeah,
he's already made.
I'm hooked, man.
This is you're riding a bicycle and he has the stick and he's just been tickling the spokes.
You have targets on your socks.
Which is funny that you bring that up. So one of the points I wanted to bring up today or tonight was first off the reliability as far as the SBE stuff. I said this in the other video. We'll say it here. You're basically if you have a Turbo LS junkyard stock bottom end. Everybody literally sits around and they watch you, and then they don't cheer you on. They basically wait for you to fail.
Of course.
So the better you do, the more hate people are like, oh, that's crap.
Just
you're
wait.
stupid.
Just wait.
Just wait. And then as soon as it happens, because it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Then it's
I told you.
Yeah, you're an idiot. LS's suck.
Yeah. So I'm like at the brunt of all those jokes right now. But I tell everybody, it's a race car and a race car motor is expendable. If you look at Top Fuel. They spend a motor every single run, and people don't go, oh, look at you toasted your motor. Yeah, they do it every single run.
Yeah.
You know, if you're pushing stuff, I don't care what you got, it's going to break. But the ones that I find funny are like when the Cletus McFarlanes and the John Dock guy that talks weird, when they try to do it, and they toast them like first run out, first track day, like gone.
Yeah.
So for a few years of usage, or like him, he's driven thousands of miles, tons of passes.
You both have got...
Yeah.
A lot of time on those motors and a lot of beating.
Yes.
Punishment. The other thing that's cool about it, though, is it's a learning experience, and then I share it.
Yeah.
And I don't mind eating the crow, and I don't mind going back and forth. Like, you can make fun of me all you want, because I'm still having a good time with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I consider the engine expendable, and I told someone, I think it was Wicked Note Matt, because he was making fun. He's like, there's going to be an LS shortage between you and me. And I said, I will spend a motor to beat you every time. Yeah. And I will come back next week with a new motor that's trash, and I will spend that one. And I'll laugh until you're like, hey, I don't want to race you anymore because I just look bad because you keep beating me with junk motors. But I feel like it's the only time all the other platforms step up and everybody, like, as soon as you toast your motor, they're like, oh, woo. And then it was funny because I pulled it apart, I'm like, well, it's actually still not broken. Like, a $7 lifter tray, it'll come back. We could, you know.
Hell, I would have used it.
Yeah, well, so here's the other thing, too. I sold it for $100 to my buddy Dylan, so that's what I paid for it. So literally, I had a free motor for 2.5 years, short block. And it's still good. I gave it to him, and I gave him another block and crank because I'm like, I don't feel good about this because I didn't know it was wrong yet. Yeah. And I still wasn't believing the lifter tray BS. I was like, no, that's stupid. Yeah. And so I gave him that and another block and crank. I'm like, you can take the rotating assembly out, double check it, you know, and then freshen it up and put it together because this is a stock bore. So now he basically got a free block and crank because I guarantee that other one's still decent. So,
dude, that's a good deal.
The other cool part though too, for toasting stuff and then learning, like my first lesson was the O-ring on the oil pump. pick up.
So,
and it's not just getting a new one, and it's not just using the right one. It's you literally have to force it in.
It's gotta get in right.
If you don't have to force it, like if you push it and it just goes pop, it's not good and it will not work. So I learned that one. The back cover with the oil passage had that leak. I learned that one. The dog bone thing in there, learned that like every single time. And people are like, oh, you're always pulling your car apart. Well, I'm learning. So now we have a project coming up. And when we do that one, we're going to change all these dumb little things.
Yeah.
And literally, the only thing that's going to have an issue with is if the tune is off or we really just toast that motor.
That's why you're able to get the Winnebago running so quick and so well. Like, you didn't have any of those little stupid problems because you've already learned all those things before you got there. And that was a big deal. I mean, it helps further your career now where it's like you could do a swap on a weekend and actually have it be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and I would look at the parts and go, okay, this will work, that won't work. Or say it's like a customer's LS swap. Obviously, he's getting. That's the other thing too is I don't reuse the trays. I don't reuse on my stuff because it's funny. I like to push it, and it makes people cringe. It's like the lifter roulette. Like I was like, you know what? I'm willing to throw this cam in there and then kind of let it ride just to watch people squirm because it would bug me a bit, but I think it bugs other people more because they're like, you gotta do it right, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this one. Who knows? Where's it gonna go?
No, it's a solid platform, no doubt, and it's like playing with Legos pretty much. Like you can assemble them with an impact. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, use a torque wrench.
Matt's proved it.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as you know your torque wrench fairly well or your impact, but there's still some subtleties to them. There's still some nuances, like the lifter tray thing. It's like I would have never believed you in a million years till you showed me. Like, dude, check this out.
I had the guy pop up and go, yeah, if somebody would have just told you that last time, and I'm like, hey, dude, you were right. That's what I told you. So you earned that one.
Yeah.
But the other fun thing about starting with junk is it keeps it cheap. It gets you involved. Here's the biggest thing. I mean, I see it all the time, and then I do it because this is kind of what I was getting at with Jeff with the spokes in the wheel. Is he's getting ahead of himself. He hasn't even had a bunch of fun yet. Like you went to the track, basically struggled. It wasn't really. I mean, it's still fun to go with your buddies, but it'd be a lot more fun if your car was progressing.
Yeah.
And then here you are. You're like, oh man, I think I need CO2. It's like, no, dude, let's just run it. Let's just do it, and then. Eventually, you get there, but that's the cool thing too with the next project that I have, the next 6-liter, is I'm going to do a half-ass in between where I'm going to kind of rebuild it or freshen it up without taking it to the machine shop. And I feel that's something a lot of guys could do where they're like, I got this motor, I'm just going to sleep better at night. And then I went as far as buying the cheapest bearings I could find. So it's not, I don't know if I'm any better off.
It might be worse.
Yeah.
Well, there's Summit brand, and then I heard they're King bearings.
Yeah.
So even so I was like,
a few manufacturers.
So Durbond and then King bearings, and then I figured it was $100 total investment.
Yeah, that's kind of the formula I did with my car. It's like didn't have to do any machining. Just look at the bores. You know, if there's nothing crazy, just dingle ball hone it. But I ended up working out a lot for bearings. I bought like tri-metal Clevite H bearings. And
that's right.
Everything except for cam bearings and good rings too, and it's held together. I mean.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in the video. I had some technical difficulties. My GoPro apparently shut off. I didn't catch it, and we just rambled on. Essentially, what we missed out on in this go-round, unfortunately, was we rambled on a bit more, and then we got into all the questions that you guys had sent in. I'm not going to sit here and answer them here because we did that on video, or we thought we did. So what I'm going to do is we're going to save those questions for the next round, and we're just going to read those and then give the shout-outs and list all those things off because I essentially caught it halfway through the questions. So I don't feel good about just putting a couple up. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead in the video to what we have here is we were playing a drag race game. Jeff brought over a practice tree, and basically the bet is the loser has to rock a window banner sticker. So it's a big sticker that goes across the front of your windshield, across the top where like the sun visor deal like they used to do with the window tint. Like if you go to LS Fest, it says LS Fest. You're supposed to put that on for the event. So what we are going to do is the guy that loses, the other two guys decide and agree on what the loser has to put on their car for a window banner sticker that I will custom make. And then they have to sport that for the whole next track outing event on their car. So that's what we're doing now. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yes.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to play. So we're just going to have to write the times down?
Yeah, we can do that.
I think it'll be pretty obvious who's winning and who's losing.
Well, so I can set this to whatever time you want to do here. And then we can see whoever wins.
I thought it's just fastest reaction. So can you just do like a sportsman tree?
Yeah, we can do whatever tree you want.
So we'll do a sportsman tree. And
5 tenths or 4 tenths?
5, whatever standard, dude. And then let's
pro tree standard.
Yeah. And then we'll just do three consecutive shots at it.
Yeah.
And then your best time is your best time.
So the way it works is
that guy staged.
The computer's already staged. Then you push it once, push it again,
and then you let go on.
And he won.
Good.
Oh, he beat you.
69.
And he's already practiced like 5 times.
No, dude, I literally got this thing out of the box right before I came
The whole
over
way here, he wasn't even looking.
Yeah,
at
the whole way here he was driving. Okay.
I could have. I do have a 110 outlet in my truck. Who wants to go first?
Bring it on.
Really, Reed, go first.
All right, Reed.
All right, I'm gonna try and do this so
Yeah,
everyone can watch me. Red light or get like a 1 second reaction time. So
you just push it once.
And now you
Now
hold it down.
hold it. Yeah. Don't let go because
I
it
know.
will. 104.
not my worst.
All right.
Okay.
So remember your best number, whatever that is.
104. Pretty abysmal.
Should I make engine sounds?
That's a red
Oh,
light.
no.
48.
Red light.
Yeah.
That was really
So
bad.
you got
too.
104,
48's not terrible.
a red light, and this is the
Worse than that.
last one.
All right.
I felt like I should have practiced. Now I'm not so sure.
Last one.
Come on.
Yeah.
118.
So 104 is your best.
Cool.
I'm grabbing another battery. Jeff can go.
If I have a sticker on my car that says I suck at trees, I'll be okay. Because if I do good, I'll be able to lose.
All right.
All right, let's see. NHRA's finest, Jeff Woods.
Yeah, we'll see.
Beans! Woo! Already.
41.
41.
Oh, jeez.
It does keep count of who won the most too.
Who won the most?
54.
Oh, Jesus.
It's getting worse.
Good. Slow down, dude. So what do I have to beat? 104?
104. Pretty lofty
Let's see.
target.
Brum, 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 brum.
Woo!
18. Oh, man. All right.
Yeah, I'll hold it. You can.
All right. Here we go.
Let's see it.
Let's see it. I just got to beat 104, dude.
What are the beams?
39.
you're
Ooh,
You're
10.
down.
All right, give me a sticker. I'm not putting a dick sticker on my car, dude.
You sure are.
We'll decide what to.
Oh, let's see.
There you let go. Oh, 37.
He could red light twice, and that's worse than you.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
just gonna go slow this time.
Like you're building
Yeah.
boost.
We didn't make a bump button and everything.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, if you had a bump button. 33.
Did he beat you?
No, I had 18.
Good.
Oh, I thought. Yeah. All right. Well. So we'll think. I think between Jeff and I, we'll come up with a nice banner. We'll surprise you at the next track day, and we'll make sure it's something you can roll around. in
Yeah,
public.
yeah.
We're not gonna.
I mean,
put,
I've got only 2 stickers on the car.
I'll try to figure out how to make this door.
Well, it's a
actually
windshield
race each
banner,
other.
so we'll make sure it says something else.
Oh, great.
So
We figure out how to make it to where we can race each other next time.
yeah, next time we gotta race each other.
I need to practice.
Okay.
And I'll fix it too. Kill two.
It's got a microprocessor in it or some shit, and that might be part of the problem.
Yeah, I got hammers at home. We can
It's
fix
holding
it.
the old, I don't know.
All right, so next time we'll race each other. Other than that, I think it's been a pretty long episode. And then I got to splice it together like 4 times because my GoPro died.
Yeah.
But any parting words of wisdom, final thoughts, stuff for next time, goals, anything?
Get out and drag race, man. Like, don't let it die. It seems like it's just.
Yeah, go race, you guys.
Yeah.
Go to your local track, support your events. Even Irwindale, if you guys are local, you're watching this.
And you got enough money to run.
Yeah, or save up. You've had months.
It was pretty
come on.
bleak last time.
For $30 an event. Everybody was there every Thursday. So for 3 Thursdays in a row, if you missed out that 4th one, guess what? You already spent $100 easily.
Yeah,
so
and you're gonna get more passes than you would have been.
yeah,
for
so
3 days.
come out to Irwindale. I know it's expensive when the weather kind of cools off. I will say that.
It's
Yeah,
getting there.
Yeah, that night run was really nice.
yeah. I will say, let's go. And then if you're not from here, go support your local tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep them alive, especially through all this, because it's a small business, man. I mean, they're already struggling to begin with. Maybe not back east, but out here they are.
Yeah, so It's unfair to us. We only got one place to go.
Well, we have multiple places, but they're too high class to let us in.
No, none of them are open.
Yeah.
Famoso's open.
Yeah.
So we could go there. So we should look in to see what their schedule is. And
yeah, it's just not in my backyard like Irwindale is.
Yeah. So we'll have to plan that. And then besides Jeff, get your car running, because I keep saying that on here.
It's really close. I actually drove it today. Like, I finally drove it today. Me and Olivia went around the block. And
we might have to do some, if you need help with the shakedown or something, we'll have to come over.
I think it's close.
Okay.
I need to get those hood pins from you, so I don't look like a menace to society with my hood off.
Okay. And then, I agree with those guys, and that's it. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share if you want to see more. Ask questions, comments. We can talk about the episode here. These guys are both on the channel in the comment section running around, so if you have questions for them, feel free to hit them up.
Yep.
You guys know how to get a hold of me, and then our Instagrams and everything are on here. You guys know what to do. I'm out. We're out.